Okay.
Hi, everybody.
Hey.
We're here. It's Christine and Tina, ladies of the Lanai, and we are out on a special guest Lanai today. And we're bringing you a special edition today of all things paddle sports, racket sports in the villages. And so why don't you introduce yourself and
Hi, I'm Brie Dexter, and I primarily play platform tennis. So I'm going to go through all the different paddle and racket sports that are available here in the villages.
So it's not just pickleball.
It's not just pickleball, even though people will tell you that it probably is just pickleball. No, there's plenty of other great sports here.
And you know, we're so glad to have you here today because I think people drive by some of the other courts and say, I wonder, what that is and how do I start? So we're dying to hear.
Absolutely. I have people ask me all the time because I'll say, I'm going to go play platform tennis, and they've never heard of it, and they've lived here their whole lives. I'm like, the one with the cage. But we'll get into that.
So where should we start? Like at tennis, like the basic?
Absolutely.
And then you can figure out, you can work your way up the way you feel appropriate, because we'll talk about the different paddles, the paddle sizes, and the different kind of balls, because they all use something a little bit different.
Yes.
And Brie is a former teacher, probably still a teacher. So this is her lovely setup in the background here.
You know I have to do a visual presentation. That's right. Okay, so let's start with tennis. Everybody knows what tennis is. It's a very large stringed racket, and that's the difference between a racket and a paddle, is that a racket has strings and a paddle is solid. So everybody knows what tennis is, and it's played on a very large court compared to the other courts that we're going to talk about. So this court is extremely large. It's played either singles or doubles. And then, let's see if I can get my thing to work. Okay, so it's 78 by 27. All right, so keep that number in mind. And you're going to find those at all the rec centers all over the villages. Tennis is a very, very popular sport. And then you were telling me about something called championship tennis.
Right. This championship tennis, it's the same size court that you just explained. However, the lines are inside, so it's not as long on either side, and nor is it as wide. So it's to make an accommodation for those who still want to play tennis, but maybe are more concerned about their knees or running around too much, but they still get to play.
That's real. I mean, that's happening to everybody as our joints are starting to age. Now, tennis, it's 4 points to win a game. And then you've got 6 games to win a set. And so once you're used to the scoring, that same type of scoring is used in several other sports like beach tennis and platform tennis. So once you're used to tennis scoring, it'll be easy peasy. Here the net height is about, it's exactly 36 inches, 3 feet, okay?
So there will be a test afterwards.
Yes,
okay.
yes, because if you try to use a tennis court to play one of these other sports and all of a sudden all your balls are going into the net, it's probably because it's 2 inches higher than platform tennis or pickleball.
Oh, interesting.
Okay, so, and then the next sport we're going to talk about, since everybody already knows what tennis is platform tennis. That's my sport. All right, so platform tennis is played with a solid paddle. All right. This is a sport that originated on the East Coast. It was designed for people that wanted to play a winter sport in the snow. So they built an aluminum platform, put heaters underneath.
Oh.
And so when it snowed, they would turn the heaters on, wait for the snow to melt. Or if you notice on the platform tennis courts, you will see the snowboards on the edges. And so this is comparison of the size of a platform tennis court to a regular tennis court. It's about 1/4 of the size.
So why is it in Florida then? Why?
Okay, that's a really good question.
Up?
I'm getting there. All right, and so it's completely surrounded by wire because they didn't want to be chasing the balls in the snow.
Oh my gosh.
And these snowboards on the bottom, it's actually really funny that they built them in Florida because obviously we don't need them, but they would lift those up and push the snow out. Okay, so a man named Joe Russo came down about 20 years ago, and it was his favorite sport. And he said, you have got to build me some platform tennis courts here in the villages. So the sport as we play it here in the villages is not found anywhere else in the entire world. Oh. And we have more platform tennis courts here in the villages than anywhere in the world. Oh. Okay.
Does the aluminum feel different?
I have heard that it does. Now, I'm from Texas, so I won't do anything in the snow. I'd rather eat a handful of jalapenos than do anything in the snow. But But I have heard that it is slightly different, and also the ball is different. So we had to have these balls created
hard.
just for the villages.
Is it
It's
rubber?
hard,
Oh.
and it's heavy, and you don't want to get hit by it.
It's
wait,
like a
so-
really hard Nerf ball,
Yes.
kind of.
So this
Kind
is
of.
just for the villages.
This is just for the villages. So you can't just go online and purchase a platform tennis ball because it's going to act like a super ball down here because it's designed for cold weather. This is a warm weather platform tennis ball only found in the villages.
So where do you buy it?
So you can either get it for free at the rec center, or you can, you should go in and say, can I have a platform tennis ball? And it's part of your amenity fee.
Good to know.
Yes, and so you can also buy them online. You just have to buy the low bounce ones.
Okay, it's a low bounce ball.
Right, exactly. All right, so this is the platform tennis court. The great thing about this sport, the thing I find most fun, is that you can play off the wire.
Is that Kathy?
Yes, that is. Yes, that's Kathy. There you go.
She loves it. She loves
And Bob.
playing with you.
Oh no, and she's so much fun to play with.
Yeah.
And she's gotten so good playing off
She
the wire.
loves it.
So if it bounces here in the blue and it hits this wire, you can return it. So it's almost like a combination of racquetball and tennis, right? So the points go on and on and on, and it just makes it very energetic, very fun, and it is definitely a strategy game.
So do you mean you can the volleys last longer?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Because if the ball gets by you, all you have to do is wait for it to come back, and you can send it back.
Oh,
And
that sounds like fun.
Especially being a small female, it's a great advantage because I can play against somebody who's much more powerful than me, but because I'm patient and they want to nail it past me, that's fine. I'll just wait for it to come back off the wire. And so it does level the playing field between power players and more strategic players.
Is it singles and doubles, or one
It
or
is
the other?
mostly doubles, but you
Okay.
can play it singles. Right. Okay, and so let's see. It was made in, I have all these notes. It was created in New York in 1928, and it has the same scoring as tennis. The wire cage is 12 feet tall, and it's my favorite sport. I love it. I play it every day. All right, let's move on to the next one.
Did you learn how to play this sport here?
I did.
You did, okay.
I came from a sport called padel, which is really, really popular everywhere but the United States. And it is very similar to this, but it has glass on the back. But aside from that, there's very little difference between padel and platform tennis.
Okay.
So this was an easy, pick for me. And so again, you can see the difference in size between platform tennis and regular tennis.
Are those lights?
Yes.
So is it very available to play at night?
On the East Coast,
On the
for
East-
sure.
okay.
If you ever watch the professionals, you can go to YouTube and see the professional platform tennisers play, and they'll play in Boston, and half the time it's snowing, and it doesn't look like fun. But okay, so pickleball. This is the sport that rules the villages. Yes, oh my gosh. And the reason I play it is because my sister is awesome at it, and I have to at least hold my own when she comes to visit. So I do play pickleball. It is very similar in size to the platform tennis courts. And yes, here is a pickleball paddle, again, smaller, definitely smaller, very lightweight, and these you can find in the rec sheds. So if you go to the rec shed at Eisenhower or Clarendon, you can just grab one of these for free. This,
To borrow.
To borrow. Sorry. To borrow. Put it back when you're done with
Borrow.
it.
Put it back
okay?
when you're done.
Yes. And then this one, since these are pretty expensive, they run about $250,
Oh.
they do not put them in the rec shed.
Oh, so you can't just try it out
Now,
unless you...
the one at Clarendon, they did put some in the rec shed. But I know at Eisenhower, they do not. But all you have to do is walk in and ask them for one, and they will let you borrow one.
So you kind of sign it out or something.
Correct,
Okay.
exactly. So you're signing it out. So then pickleball, you've got the wiffle ball. Everyone's seen pickleball. Everyone's heard pickleball, especially if you're anywhere near one of the courts. The biggest difference, obviously, is this no-go zone. And the thing I love about touch tennis and pickleball is that you can tell that these were sports that were created when a dad got super tired of his kids being inside and were like, here, go play a sport and get out of my hair. And so then, Johnny comes running back inside and he's like, but, my brother's standing at the net and all he's doing is hitting at my, okay, so now nobody gets to stand next to the net. And so you've got this no volley zone so that you can't, if you have a tall player, they can't just sit there and smash it over and over.
That's a challenging, in the beginning, mind thing to like not step in the kitchen,
Yes.
like when you play.
Yeah, and
You're
you
like,
do play, right? You play pickleball.
I've played, but I had like a cramp in my calf, so I stopped for a while because I was scared. It happened 3 times.
Oh, wow.
Like a child. So I want to go back. I want to go back in.
Okay,
But-
all right. I mean, I enjoy it.
Everybody loves it.
Yeah.
And it's competitive. You think you're not, but then you're like,
You're like, come on, Karen, bring it. Yeah. Well, and the thing that's hard for me to wrap my mind around is I want to let the ball go past me. So my sister will be like, stop doing that. You can't let the ball go past you.
because you're used to.
Because I'm used to
Tennis.
waiting for
Oh,
it. To bounce off the
No
wire
return.
behind
There's
me.
no return here.
No, mm-mm.
One chance.
Oh, and that's another thing about platform tennis. You only get one serve to get it in. So in platform tennis, in beach tennis, you get one serve. And in pickleball, too. Yeah, you don't get another try.
Yeah.
If you mess it up, that's
No do-over.
it. Yeah, no do-over. Now, the only thing I think about pickleball is the scoring is a bit crazy.
Yeah.
So every time right before you serve, you say, my score, your score, and then the number of the server. And so it ends up sounding like a football play, like 26, 84, 32. And when I first started playing pickleball, I thought, are you kidding me? I am never going to learn how to score. But you get used to it, and then it.
And this, do you feel for pickleball, it's easier on your joints somewhat as opposed to tennis? Because you see a lot of older people can play it, and they are
I think
awesome.
it depends because
Or
for
how
me
much
it's
you-
the quick
you-
movement
yeah, you
thing.
jerk.
So I think that pickleball might be worse for me.
Oh.
I
So
do too.
pickleball's more
Oh, okay.
like urgent moves and
Yes.
quick maneuvers.
Yes, because you're never, in platform tennis, you're never going to have all 4 people up at the net at the same time. It's always going to be either receiving or you're serving. Whereas I think in pickleball, there's just a lot more jerky movement. I've seen a lot of people with knee replacements after too
Yeah.
much pickleball. And I don't know if that's because it's just so much fun that they want to play it all stinking day. And it feels like you can play, like that's the biggest difference between platform tennis. You can play for about 90 minutes, maybe 2 hours, and you're wiped. Pickleball, I think I can play for like 3 or 4 hours, and I'm still, pretty functional.
Is that because of the round robin situation that goes on as well? Like people are waiting and you're.
That's a really good point.
Etiquette says.
Yes, there's no waiting in platform tennis.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I almost want to go over to the pickleball courts and put up a sign that says, like, "Are you tired of standing in line? Come to platform tennis."
You never have to. Oh, so you
You
don't.
should.
Does that etiquette rule does not exist in platform
We
tennis?
just don't have enough players.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't want to get to the point where it's so popular that I'm standing in line, but I do want to get to the point where I can play anytime, on any day.
Okay.
So it is a much more niche sport. It's a lot fewer participants, but
Well, Brie is a good ambassador for platform tennis, so hopefully this will bring some more villagers out.
But not too many
And
where
not
we
too
can't
many.
play.
yeah, not
Just the
too
right
many.
amount.
Just the right amount. We'll let you know. Now, I taught a 101 class this morning. We had 12 people show up, and it's a lot of fun. All right, back to the other sports, beach tennis. Beach tennis is obviously played on the sand volleyball courts. So it's a combination of volleyball and tennis. It was created in Spain. I want to get this right. No, in Italy. It was created in Italy by some tennis players that were on vacation, and they got their paddles out or their rackets, and they started playing, instead of beach volleyball, they started playing beach tennis. Now, the thing you want to know is this is not a tennis ball. So do not expect to be able to play beach tennis with a regular tennis ball. This is considerably deflated.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is hard. This is very soft. You can see I can squish it down. So it slows the sport down a lot. And then, of course, you've got a solid paddle. This is what a beach tennis paddle looks like. The other day I went out onto the pickleball courts and somebody was out there playing pickleball with this. And I said, did did you mean to be playing
Oh, no.
pickleball with a beach and she was like, no, we just found these in the rec shed. And I'm like,
Oh, she didn't know.
I was like, hold on, let me go get you a pickleball.
Let me help you out.
Exactly. All right, so beach tennis, it is, if you go into the rec sheds, they do have some great printouts of this is the sport, these are the rules, in case you were wondering.
Where are the rec sheds generally?
So the rec sheds are right by the bathrooms, usually attached to the back of the bathroom. So you go around to the back of the bathroom, open up the door, and the rec shed is in there.
Now, there's not as many beach tennis courts.
There are not, because they have to have the sand.
Sand, you have to
right.
have the sand. And
So-
it's only good, for that one sport. But so that it's
Well, no, they play volleyball.
volleyball, or either one could be played here.
Correct.
Is the net the same height?
No, it's much, much higher. It's
Okay.
like 20.
Okay. So it's lower for beach tennis. The net.
No. For beach tennis,
The net's lower.
it's the same height as a volleyball.
Oh, it
So
is.
For,
Is volleyball?
So for me, I mean, it feels really high.
Yeah.
But so in beach tennis, it's a cross between tennis and volleyball. It's scored similar to tennis, but there's no advantage. Like, you don't get in that thing where you have a deuce and then add in, add out, because that takes forever. So when you get to 40-40, whoever wins the next point wins. And then they play to 15 or 21, depending on if people are waiting. There's a court at Clarendon. There's a court at Seabreeze. Those are the ones I'm most familiar with.
And it looks like they're building courts down at
Eastport.
Eastport. Looks like it's going to be a few courts there.
I
It's
think they're
pretty
covering
big.
all the bases
Yeah.
because they've got platform tennis down there. They've got, I
The
think
sand
they've
pit
got,
seems like it's bigger than one court. It feels like it's really big, but
Okay.
we'll see when they build it.
yeah. So I've heard it's a super fun game. Obviously, it's played in bare feet, and what they have told me is that it is easier on your joints.
Okay.
Because you're on a soft surface, and if you're,
and if you fall down,
if you fall down, yes, exactly. It's probably not going to hurt quite as much, but it's played 3 or 4 people to a side.
okay.
Okay, so the
Oh.
more people you have, the easier the game is.
Okay.
So I think the 3 is like the advanced. If I say anything wrong, put it in the comments.
Yeah. yeah. We don't
And then that way we can correct our mistakes.
Yeah.
But
And there are special shoes when you talk about this doing barefoot, because I found that out. I did the social league for pickleball. That's how I started. I didn't know anything, and they were like, "Hello, you don't have the right shoes on. You don't, like you can't wear blah blah blah." But is it different in platform tennis versus pickleball?
no.
shoes.
Just tennis versus pickleball?
I've seen pickleball specific shoes, but I think that's more a function of like everybody wants all their stuff to say pickleball on it because
Oh.
it says pickleball on the side of the shoes, which is hysterical.
So you don't think it's necessary to have?
I think that it
special
is
shoes?
necessary to have special shoes
Okay.
because you have so much side to side
Yeah.
movement.
So running shoes are wrong
No.
because they have the most of the support
yes,
front
they
to
told
back.
me no.
no running
So
shoes.
that's how you trip, is if you've got all that rubber front to back.
Yeah.
It's you want it.
Exactly, because those are stability shoes and they're only designed to go in one direction, and that's
Yeah.
forward.
That's why you-
But these sports, multiple directions all the time. So absolutely, no running shoes on any of the courts. And then our final one that we're going to take a look at is touch tennis. Now, touch tennis is, I want you to see the difference between the size of a regular tennis racket and the size of a touch tennis racket. This is a junior tennis racket, so it's much, much smaller. The handle is much narrower, it's tiny.
Yeah.
And then this ball is just this little foam ball.
Oh.
And it is awesome. Look at, it's got like very little bounce.
That's
So
like a Nerf ball.
yeah, it moves very slow. I am going to play touch tennis when my knees can't handle platform tennis anymore because it is played on the platform tennis courts.
Oh.
And now you can play it on the pickleball courts. There's no reason you can't, except you don't want to chase the ball down if you
don't
miss
have-
it.
Yeah, I
exactly.
love that.
So having the cages around really helps that out. But this is played exactly like regular tennis. But again, I think you just get one serve. And this was first started in London in 2002. But I've actually seen this since I was a little girl being used to teach young children how to play tennis.
Yeah, it's easier with a shorter handle.
Yeah,
I
shorter
imagine.
handle, slow, soft ball. If you get hit by this, you're not even going to feel it. All right, so that is touch tennis. It's really catching on. I've seen tons of people playing it. And we actually had to set up a schedule so that, like, between 8 and 10 in the morning, platform tennis players get priority on the platform tennis courts. After 10, any open courts, the touch tennis people can use. And so they've kind of split ownership.
So the best way to see how to play or start, would that be to go to your rec center you want to play at and look at the board, or is there a better way?
I think that's a great way to do it. Sometimes the boards are missing information, but the website for the villages has, the activities website where you can see the different activities and also sign up for them.
Like that rec center paper, it's also
Yes.
available online.
You can also do it on paper.
and it's online.
I forget paper exists.
I
like
know.
The first time I got a newspaper here, I think it was the first time I'd opened a newspaper
Yes.
in 40 years.
Yeah.
So yes, you can actually look in the paper version of the rec
center
schedule.
guide, yeah.
Exactly. Right. And it's amazing how many activities there are. And all of these are volunteer instructors. And they love what they do, and they're so excited. Like, I went up to get this beach tennis ball just a little while ago at Clarendon, and they're like, come play, come play. They're just, everybody's very, very friendly.
As opposed to pickleball?
Well,
I'm kidding. I'm not kidding.
look, pickleball has a very
Different breed.
large following. They are not, like, actively seeking members. How about that?
That's a good way of
Yes.
putting it. Okay.
So if you wanted to play the most played sport here, which is the pickleball, I know that could you tell us about those? There are specific steps, not
Yes.
just showing up.
Oh, no,
With
no.
pickleball, it's not just showing up. With the others, you can just show up if you're new.
Absolutely.
More or less. But with pickleball, it's different.
It is very strict.
What's-
yes.
I forget what the website is. Do you know? If not, I can put
if
in
you
the description.
Google pickleball villages,
Yeah.
it'll take you right to their website. Their website is huge.
Pickleball community or
'Cause
something
I
like
think
that.
you have to watch a video.
Yes.
Then you have to go to a 101.
101.
You do 101, you do 102, you have to sign up ahead of time, do not show up. And then you
They will
do
send
like
you
a,
home.
yeah, they'll send
They'll
you
send you
home.
home. They'll say, "Did you do 101?"
Yeah, and then you do like a
and I said,
mentor
"Yes, I have."
thing, and then you do 103, and then you do a ratings clinic. It's a lot.
My
It's a lot.
neighbor Eric Green does the mentor thing. So you said you met him, right?
I do.
Yeah,
I love
he's my
him.
neighbor.
Yes, yes. He was the one that did my mentored open play. Yes,
Yeah.
he's amazing. Love him.
Yeah. But if you wanted to, I do think that if you wanted to go play pickleball with some family or friends that came and you saw an open court and there's nobody playing and nobody waiting, you could jump on there and just play for fun.
100%.
Yeah.
I absolutely, yes. Because my friend Sarah and I go and we play. And one day we were over at Clarendon and all these ladies showed up and they were like, oh, we have the courts reserved, but do you want to play with us? But they were like 4.0, 4.5 players. We were
Meaning
like,
they're really good.
yeah, we were like, no, thank you. Yeah, I don't really need that kind of humiliation in my life today. So, no, we just left and went to another open court. I mean, there's pickleball everywhere.
Yeah.
And just did some drills.
Okay.
So do you have to be rated in any of these to play, or only if you're in a league, or?
Yes. Yes and no. Because I know in platform tennis, like we just had a tournament last weekend, you had to be rated to be in the tournament, obviously, because you only want to play with people that you are on the same level with. Nobody wants to get annihilated or do the same thing to somebody else. And so you do have to be rated to be in a tournament, or like I know in pickleball, they have the duper ratings. And so when you're in a tournament, if you win, your duper rating increases, and if you lose, it goes down, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, and so then I have a lot of the tennis ladies are platform tennis ladies because they are from the East Coast and they are excellent tennis players. Like they're often leaving to go do like tour things. And so they will come back and they will play platform tennis. But yes, as far as ratings go, there is a rating system for, I know pickleball and platform tennis and tennis as well.
Now, if you are, like you just said, like you're used to playing up north or wherever you're coming from, and you're at a certain level, I know there's a couple of places here in the villages that you can play that have highly developed tennis programs, like
Absolutely.
So if
Do you know
you're
where-
like a superstar, where do you go to play
what are
with all
those-
the high level?
Where are they? Do you know
Look,
where they are?
if you're a superstar in tennis, you already know where to go.
Yeah, okay.
Because, like I said, I've got a couple ladies that I play platform tennis with, and they will all disappear for a week to go to like Chicago and play professionally, or semi-pro or whatever. So yes, there is a very, very active tennis community here in the villages,
Yeah.
and it is made up of people that have been playing tennis since they were,
right. I know one of them's at Glenview. that they have some real professional, like high-level tennis players that have been
Yes.
playing forever.
Yes.
And they want to play with people like themselves.
Right. And this is a sport that transfers really well over to platform tennis. When I am playing with people that have never played before, I can immediately tell if they're tennis players. And also racquetball. So people that come from tennis and racquetball slot right into platform tennis. They have all the requisite skills. They're great with the hand-eye coordination. They're great with the tracking the ball. So you can always tell the skills transfer. Pickleball, we just have to unlearn their habits.
Unlearn. It's different, right?
I know.
Pickleball's
Yeah,
different.
the
I'm
tennis
like,
people,
Get up
yes.
to the net. Get up to the net. Yeah. So, but they do have a lot of racket skills and being able to, the hand-eye coordination.
So if you're, never played any of these, where would you say, but you really want to play pickleball, but would you start with touch tennis or would you just jump to pickleball or?
I mean, I think
Because it can be
pickleball's-
intimidating when everybody knows and there's good players. Like, where do I start? Especially if you're by yourself, you don't have like all your friends going with you, and you're like, I really want to do this. So where would you suggest they start?
I think that's an excellent question. They have, and I've been to a couple of these, they're really good about on the pickleball schedule. They will put either it's a closed group, it's an open group, open beginner advanced, open intermediate. So I've been to a couple open beginner intermediate, and everyone's just very welcoming. I even showed up one time to a closed group, and they were like, hi, new person, come on in and play. So you can find some really, really welcoming groups. I went onto the Villages app, and I specifically searched for pickleball, open, beginner, intermediate. And I had no problems at all. Now, it is kind of intimidating when you go to like Everglades has an open play that is 2 entire pickleball court units, and then the advanced people are over here. I accidentally wandered over there one day, and I was like, oh yeah, no, I am out of my depth. I'm going to go over here where the beginner intermediate are, and yes, they'll quickly let you know that you're not on the right set of courts. But they will direct you over to the correct area where they're like, you know what, you should probably go that way, once you figure out the scoring and come back.
Right.
Yeah. So I think that there's so much pickleball that you can find.
Yeah. You have to don't get discouraged.
Yes,
If you have a
don't get
bad,
discouraged.
vibe wherever you go, because just go someplace else.
Yeah, or
Ask
come to
others.
platform tennis. It's like the friendliest people ever.
Okay.
Like I said, this is our best ambassador for platform tennis.
Like
and
full disclosure, I'm just going to keep redirecting back to. Oh wait, and did we have any
And
more
we'll put
slides?
you have a Facebook page, right, for the group, and that
Yes.
has all the information on where you do your
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
classes
Tennis.
and all your play, the
Yes.
play and classes and tournaments and things.
We have a very active beginner group on Facebook, and so they'll post like, "Hey, does anyone want to play today at 4:00 at Clarenton or whatever?"
Oh, so like serendipitous play. Oh, I
Yes.
love that.
Yes.
Okay, so we'll put the link to that Facebook group in the description of the video.
Okay.
But it's Villages Beginner Platform Tennis?
Yes,
That's
for the
name of
Facebook group.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the club has a Facebook group as well.
Oh, of course.
Of the Villages Platform Tennis Club. Yeah. So there's 2. You start here, and then
Okay.
you work your way here, and yeah.
All right.
Is there anything else you think people need to know about Villages paddle sports?
If you hand me that over there. All right. All right, so I have heard rumor that people are lobbying, probably just kind of asking nicely, if we can get a new sport. This is a padel racket or a padel paddle. Now, in the entire world, they call it paddle, but there's so much paddle here in the United States that they intentionally mispronounce it and call it padel. But if you go online on YouTube, it's very similar to platform tennis in that the ball can bounce, but it's glass on the back. So it's even more like racquetball. It's going to be in the next Olympics.
Wow.
And it's just this lovely, it's got this beautiful pop to it. It's very light, and
Oh,
it is
it is
played
light.
with a slightly deflated tennis ball. So it gives you a little bit more control off the glass. So that's the sport that I came from when I showed up at the Villages, and platform tennis was the most similar to padel. Now it does cost $10,000 to build a padel court.
Oh, wow.
So, but if they build them, I promise you, there's going to be a line out the door.
And how is that court different from the platform tennis?
It's very similar. It's almost the same size, but it has glass on the back. And the thing I love about padel is that there's no out of bounds lines. So if the ball comes over the net, you're responsible for it. You've got to go chase it down. So that's why I say, like, you can play this sport for 60 minutes and you're going to be toast.
So again, the volleys would be longer because
So long.
If you don't lose a point because you're out of bounds, you lose a point because it bounces twice, and that's it.
Bounces
that's it.
twice.
Or you hit the net.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
So, yeah, it's just a lot of fun. So I'm hoping that the villages will add it to kind of their repertoire of paddle sports.
Who was the person lobbying for that?
Me mostly, but
John Rohan, I hope you're listening.
exactly. There's actually a group of platform tennis players that will go down to Orlando and play
Oh, wow.
padel. I got tired of having to drive all the way down to Orlando
I
to
had
get
never
a game.
heard of it till you
No, I've
mentioned
never heard
it
of it.
before.
I
so-
can when I go down to Miami, I can play all day, every day.
Really?
Well, I
Wow.
mean, once I'm exhausted, because it has a very strong Latin community, and it originated in Acapulco.
Where did you first play? Where did you?
I first played it in Indonesia.
Okay.
And so the King of Spain took it back to Spain, and there's literally a court in every neighborhood in Spain.
Oh,
So when
wow.
we were in Spain for a couple months. I played every single day. I could get a pickup game anywhere in the Malaga area. And indoor courts, outdoor courts, it's just hugely popular all over the world, except for here. So
I
it's
wonder how that
infiltrating slowly because it is just a lot of fun.
It feels like it's a little bit bigger and not so and lighter.
It
just
does
feels
look
like it's
heavy.
easy to.
It looks like it's heavy, but it's
It's
not.
not. No.
So that's a preview of coming attractions, possibly. Anybody know that higher up in the hierarchy of the rec centers? Put in a good word for padel.
Padel.
There you
How do you
go.
spell padel?
Padel.
Okay. All right.
I never heard of it.
Well, this
All
has
right.
been a lot of fun. I hope
Thank
everybody
you.
learned about the paddle and racket sports in
Yeah.
the villages.
Yeah. Oh,
Because
but-
there's so many, you get confused, like what's what.
And
Yes.
I think
So-
everyone kind of has some knowledge of pickleball and certainly tennis, but then there's so much more. And thank you so much for clearing it up for so many people, including myself, on some of these extra amenities that we have available to us. Why not? You
Yeah.
know? Thanks so much. You've been a wealth of information, Brie. Just so much.
Such a good teacher with her
Yeah.
PowerPoints and everything.
Yeah. Future guests, you've got some shoes to fill. So anyway, thanks again for listening, and Tina and I really hope that you enjoyed what we brought to you today. We work hard to bring you guests that we hope you find interesting, and I think today you will. And we'd love it if we get that love back from you in the way of subscriptions and likes and shares and all that good stuff. So thanks a lot, guys. See you next time. Maybe we'll be on the court
Yes.
Oh, God.
We'll see you on the blue courts.
Okay.
or on the Lanai.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
This is the touch tennis and the touch tennis ball. This is the beach tennis ball, platform tennis ball, pickleball racket, pickleball, tennis ball, and padel ball.